Hi guys, welcome back. It's Donwozi here, and in today's video I'm going to be updating my easy mode Magicka Sorcerer pet build for the Veteran Maelstrom Arena for the Wolfhunter DLC. First of all, I just want to say I've had a lot of questions about Murkmire and the damage shield nerfs and so on and so forth, but I just want to tell you all, it's not as bad. I don't think it's going to be as bad as what you think, and I will address that and update the builds accordingly when Murkmire drops. Don't panic. I really don't think it's going to be as bad as what people think. Also, I just wanted to give a quick note that my previous build from the last patch for the easy mode sorcerer is still viable. You can still use it. Just add the extra 10 CP onto staff expert and stuff like that. So yeah, this is the difference between the two builds is kind of preference. I always strive to find the easiest way to run through Maelstrom Arena, and previously that was the easiest way for me until I found this heavy attack build, which I'm going to show you today. I put it together myself. I'm guessing people have used this setup before, but I'm putting it out there anyway. So yeah, the old build is still viable, and we're going to get into the new build now. So without further ado, I'm going to get into the stats with just a potion up. We have 51.4k Magicka, 17k health, 10k stamina, 2141 spell damage, 45.7% spell critical, and 1449 Magicka recovery. We have 61 points into Magicka and 3 points into health. The boon we're using is the Love and Understone, which increases spell and physical penetration. And the food we're using is Clockwork Citrus Fillet. We are not a vampire, although you can be if you want to be. So it's entirely up to you. Without further ado, I'm going to get into the consumables. And I keep saying without further ado. So, we are using Clockwork Citrus Fillet. You can use Witch Mother's Brew, you just have a little bit less health. But that doesn't matter because of the amount of max Magicka we have. We are well over, like, as damage shields just protect us so much. And I just keep that up as much as possible. So, you can use both. I just prefer Clockwork Citrus Fillet because I can afford it. The potions we're using are Essence of Spell Critical, not Essence of Spell Power, because we get our Major Sorcery from Power Surge. So with the Essence of Spell Critical potions, it gives you Major Prophecy, so 2191 Spell Critical for 47.6 seconds. These ones also restore health, so it's kind of a quick burst heal if you want, and give you Major Fortitude, increasing health recovery by 20% for 47.6 seconds. Restore Magicka and grant Major Intellect, which increases Magicka recovery by 20% for 47.6 seconds. So that is the consumables. Now I'm going to go over the gear. We have 5 Necropotents. So we have 2 staffs, the belt, and 2 rings. And then for the second set and the monster set, we have a 2-piece Grothgar and 5-piece Destruction Mastery. So the Destruction Mastery is on the chest, gloves, the legs, shoes, and 1 necklace. I have it set up this way just because that's the gear pieces I had. Ideally, you'd probably want 3 pieces of jewellery, Necropotents, and 2 staffs, and then 5 body pieces of Destruction Mastery. Destruction Mastery is from Dragonstar Arena. You can buy it in guild stores, same as Necropotents. So, on the front bar we have a Lightning Staff of Necropotents with a Shock Enchant which is infused, and on the back bar we have an Inferno Staff with a Flame Damage Enchant which is also infused. This is the best damaging setup for Maelstrom Arena, I've noticed, to have 2 infused with a flame and a shock damage enchant. The reason we have the flame damage on the back bar is because we can use Blockade of Storms on the back bar, switch to his front bar, the enchantment will still go off, and you can also utilise the front bar enchantment as well. So basically giving you 2 enchantments, which is really, really strong. The reason we've switched to Grothdar, the Grothdar monster set, is because we're using a heavy attack build, we have really low mobility while we're in heavy attack. And obviously, 99% of mobs in Maelstrom come to you. So it's nice just to have something to damage them while they're in your area, while you're performing a heavy attack. And it's also really strong, deals fire damage, vice versa. Ideally, you would want infused heavy head, and chest you'd want to be infused, and your legs you'd want to be infused. All enchanted with Max Magicka, and then the small pieces would all be divines. On the jewellery, we're running 3 arcane and 3 spell damage enchantments. So that's it for the gear. Now I'm going to go over the skills. So, on our front bar we have Endless Fury, which is our execute, and also one of our main sources of sustain. So what I like to do is, when I'm performing a heavy attack on a ad, I like to, before the heavy attack ends, or just when it ends, I like to hit him with this first, just to get the extra chunk of Max Magicka back. The second skill on our bar is Bound Aegis, which the only reason we slot this is for the extra Max Magicka. If you wanted to, you could slot in a light instead of this. I just prefer this because it gives you extra Max Magicka, a bit more than what in a light does, and also increases your spell and physical resistance by giving you minor ward and minor resolve. So that's why I prefer this skill. The next skill on our bar is the Summon Volatile Familiar. This is a given. This is one of the best AoE damage over times in the game, and it also does single target damage. And it's also buffed by your Max Magicka because it's a pet. So that's why I use this. Our main damage shield is Hardened Ward. You can go for the other morph, but I'm not too fussed. In this patch, Hardened Ward is better for me. We don't have sustain issues because we're a heavy attack build, so we may as well utilise the bigger shield and give us our pets a damage shield as well. The next skill on our bar is the Summon Twilight Matriarch. You can go with the other morph to this, the damaging morph, but I tend not to use it. I only use my 2 dots on the back bar and then my pets sometimes. So having 4 dots will just over confuse things, so I wouldn't suggest that. I go with a heal version just because if sometimes I'm a bit lackadaisical and I tend to not keep my power surge up. So if I take a big hit and I have to damage shield, I can press this straight away and get back to full, and then reapply my power surge to keep the heals going again. And the ultimate on our front bar is Thunderous Rage. This is the best ultimate in the game. It's better than Fiery Rage. I prefer this. And also, it's one of the main we have to have it on our front bar because of this passive, which is the Ancient Knowledge passive. And you can read that yourself. So on our back bar we have Liquid Lightning, Blockade of Fire, 2 main dots. What you're going to want to do to these, so say this is a portal spawn, you're going to want to place these 2 down and then focus on a different one, a different portal spawn, and let this guy here die in your dots. The next skill on our bar is the Summon Volatile Familiar again, because as I said before, you have to double slot pets, otherwise when you switch bars they'll unsummon and it'll just be useless. It'll cost too much to keep them going. On the next skill on our bar is Power Surge. This is self-explanatory. Gives Major Sorcerer, increasing spell damage by 20% for 33 seconds. While active, dealing a critical strike heals you for 25-50 health. This effect can occur every 1 second. Massive heal, can also crit. So, and procs almost off cooldown. If you've got your damage over times down, it'll proc every single time. So this is one of the main skills, most important skills we have. So 100% suggest using this. And then the ultimate on our back bar is Shooting Star. I use it for the extra max magicka that you get from the Mages Guild passives. And it is a really strong single target ultimate. It's cheaper than Thunderous Rage, so there's some situations where you probably won't have time to get your Thunderous Rage out, so then you can just use this and burn them down. I am going to have timestamps in the description, so you can skip past this next bit, which I'm going to go over some useful passives and also passives to take. So I would suggest taking all the Dark Magic passives, Daedric Summoning passives, and Storm Calling passives, because every single one of them is useful towards the build. All the Daedric Destruction Staff line passives, all the Light Armor passives. If you have enough skill points, I would suggest taking the Medium Armor Windwalker to get that 4% bonus to Stamina Recovery. In the heavy armor, if you have enough skill points again, I would suggest taking Resolve, Constitution and Juggernaut for the extra resistances, sustain and health recovery, and max health. In the Fighters Guild, I would suggest taking Banish the Wicked. There are a lot of undead, Daedra or werewolves in Maelstrom Arena, so that extra 9 ulti-gen whenever you kill one is absolutely awesome. In the Mages Guild, I would suggest taking Everlasting Magic, Magicka Controller, and Might of the Guild. These two are the most important passives, Everlasting Magic and Magicka Controller, for the extra max Magicka Recovery, and to increase the duration of your Shooting Star whenever you use it. And also Might of the Guild, when you use your Shooting Star, you can empower your next light attack. Not very important, but if you want to min-max and you have enough skill points, then take it. Mage's Adept, absolutely useful. We don't need it because we're not using any skill from the Mage's Guild, except from the ultimate. In the Undaunted, you're going to want to take Undaunted Metal. If you're planning on doing dungeons and stuff like that, then I would suggest taking Undaunted Command. But if you're only planning on running Maelstrom with this build, then just take Undaunted Metal for the extra 6% max health, stamina and magicka. Because the Undaunted Command relies on synergies, and you do not have people in Maelstrom Arena giving you synergies. As I said, we are a high elf. Dark elf works. I would suggest Dark elf if you're using double flame staff. If you're not, then high elf is the best option in my opinion. Make sure you're taking all the racial passives, whichever race you are. Any of them come in handy, are very useful. So as for races in order, I would go with, depending on staff you're using, High Elf and Dark Elf are joint first. And then number 2 would be Breton, in my opinion. And then number 3 would be Argonian. So, the last passive I want to talk about is the Alchemy passive, Medicinal Use. You're going to want to take this passive when using potions. Resulting effects last 30% longer. So you made your Fortitude, you made your Intellect, and Major Prophecy. All them will last 30% longer, which is very important because when you take this passive, them effects then have an 100% uptime if you are using your potions off cooldown. So that's it for passives. Now I'm going to go over the champion points. For all you that are under-capped champion points, I will be putting a 300 CP layout in the description, so be sure to check that out. Also, if you're in between 300 and 780 or 790, whatever it is, I would suggest just following the 790, following this CP pattern now, and just putting them in the most important trees. So I'll go over the most important trees as I'm going through. But as for the red and green trees, not very important. It's up to you. Like, it's up to your playstyle and what you want to choose. The blue tree, I would suggest following that. So, first of all, we have 61 points into Ironclad, 10 points into Spell Shield. So, if you're lower than 300, I would suggest putting points into Ironclad, like, importantly. And Hard 8, Elemental Defender, and Thick Skinned, suggest putting points into them. So, we have 56 Hard 8, 56 Elemental Defender, and 40 into Thick Skinned. 28 into Bastion, and 9 into Expert Defender. So like I said, the main trees you want to focus on is Hardy, Elemental Defender, and Ironclad. If you are of lower CP, then the rest will come later. So we have 40 points into Warlord, 100 points into Arcanist, 56 points into Tenacity, 28 Tumbling, and 29 Shadow Ward. 7 in Mooncalf also as well for extra stamina recovery. So in this, as again, if you're lower CP, in this you're going to want to focus on Arcanist, Tenacity, Tumbling, and Shadow Ward, in my opinion. The most important would be Arcanist and Tumbling and Shadow Ward. So in the blue tree we have 40 points Elfborn, 56 points Elemental Expert, 34 points into Spell Erosion, 39 points into Staff Expert, 51 points into Master at Arms, and 40 into Thaumaturge. The most important in these are Elemental Expert, Elfborn, Spell Erosion, Master at Arms, and that's about it. Thaumaturge is slightly important but not as, and Staff Expert the same. So that is the CP. Remember, the 300 CP layout will be in the description. So now I'm going to go into Maelstrom Arena and give you a bit of a demonstration about what I'm thinking. Just talk through the first round. As I said before, if this is a mob spawn and this is a mob spawn, we'll just place our dots and then focus on a different mob spawn. And that's about it. So we're going to go in Maelstrom. I'll skip past this bit to the start of the first round. Now we're in Maelstrom Arena. I'm just going to start the first round and just kind of talk through what I do. So I kind of know the mob spawn, so I'm just going to place my 2 dots on this mob spawn, and then I'm going to focus on this little critter coming in. Obviously he died. Oh, my food's run out, so let me just get that back up. Same again. I'm going to put my dots on one and focus a different one. I know a boss is going to spawn here. I just want to keep my buffs up. I'm going to use my Thunderous Rage on him, roll dodge out of his stupid attacks, finish him with that. I know he's going to die because Thunderous Rage is up, and then I'm going to finish this little scamp off here and on to the next round. I move over here because the main boss is going to spawn there and I want to be as close to him as possible. So keep my buffs up in between round, placing the dots, looking for a different spawn. See this spawn here, I'm going to try finish him as quickly as possible. Obviously keeping my Endless Fury on him. He'll die in my dots that I've already placed. Same deal again, I'm going to look for a different spawn. I know these, so I'm going to block him because he's going to jump on me and make me use stamina that I do not want to use. And then I'm going to finish this guy off as well. And then same again, reapply my buffs, dots, and then focus on a different guy. I'm going to put that on him because I think he's going to get to 20% by the time I get down there. And just always activating my damage shield, keeping my power surge up. So same again, rinse and repeat every round. I'm going to focus one. I'm going to place that on him, just get some damage going on him, and he's going to die straight away. Same with him. I've started applying it before now. Replace my dots. Keep my damage shield up. Always, when you're heavy attacking an opponent, your pets are going to go straight to them. So you want to finish them off. So then your pets aren't had a wasted journey before you heavy attack a different opponent. So I know he's going to die quick, so I'm just going to get rid of him. And then I'm going to focus the scamp. He's coming over. We had time. I'm going to block his heavy attack. Put my shield back up just in case. And he died. Anyway. The pets, as you can see, the pets do most of the work. So just make sure you rely on them. I'm going to put my dots down. My Thunderous Rage. Activate my pet. And then just do 2 heavy attacks on him. I'm going to switch back. Put blockade down. Use my pet again. And carry on with the heavy attack. He's going to move soon, so I'm going to go over there. As you can see, the damage is not too good on this, but it's decent. So now he's down to 25%. I'm just going to spam my execute because I know I can. And he died straight away. And that is how you approach Maelstrom Arena. I do have a Maelstrom Arena guide on my website. I don't have a website yet. On my YouTube, and the link will be in the description. So check that out if you need any tips on the full guide of Maelstrom Arena. I will possibly update that at some point, but as for now, there's some useful tips in there to how to be a magic sorc in Maelstrom Arena. And that's it for the build, guys. If you like the content, please leave a like, leave a comment if you have any questions. The socials will also be in the description, so if you use Facebook, Twitter, what's it called, Discord, please join our Discord. That is the fastest way to contact me. Not very busy right now, but we'll get there. We'll get there. I am going to start streaming. I know I say this in every video and I haven't done it yet, but I am going to start streaming very soon, so please follow the link to my Twitch in the description. I could not get the name Donwozi, so I had to use 2 eyes for Donwozi in my Twitch name. So yeah, just watch out for that, because you may follow the wrong Donwozi. So mine's Donwozi with 2 eyes. And again, if you have any questions, if you like the build, if this build helps you, leave us a comment, and I'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you very much, and don't worry, we are all prepared for Murkmire. I will make sure the easy mode builds are still flowing. So thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys. Bye.